Hi, everybody. This is Chris Coffey from West 40, and you're listening to Shift Everything, the podcast that challenges the status quo in education. Join us as we explore what's happening in the classroom and the changes that are making the impossible possible. What does it take to become the best state in the nation for families to raise young children? What goes into monitoring the social and emotional development of kids who are preschool aged and younger? And what are educators doing now to make sure they're helping the most families the best ways possible? We're talking about early childhood development on this edition of Shift Everything. And today we're joined by someone who has a lot of experience as an education and health and well being liaison and advocate for kids in Illinois' child welfare system. Vivian Palicki is a professional learning specialist for West 40 and has worked for profit, nonprofit, and government agencies to support young learners and their families. Vivian, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Chris. I'm happy to be here.
Vivian, what's keeping you busy these days in the world of supporting educators and families?
Well, Chris, it's a really exciting time in early childhood education and care. Um, in this area, Governor Pritzker has really taken the front seat with the Smart Start Illinois plan of providing every Illinois child with access to preschool and wraparound services to families to ensure that children are being served the way that they need to and ensure a high level of quality education.
Yeah, just like you were saying, it has been in the news a lot lately. That is early childhood education here in Illinois, because the state government is just, they're investing millions of
Mhm.
dollars in these birth to five programs and
Mhm.
preschool expansion. So it's definitely got to be an exciting time for professionals like you. So as we talk about that, could you tell us, is there a new or a renewed emphasis now that is being placed on
Mhm.
the education or social emotional development on preschool and younger age children?
Absolutely. So, COVID-19 really highlighted the inequities faced by families with young children, especially with priority populations. And the Smart Start plan now has invested $200 million in early childhood education and care also, 75 million going towards early childhood block grants. So those are for preventative initiatives across the state of Illinois, and the preventative initiatives include home visiting programs, parent education, and providing wraparound services to families. The other component of that is about 40 million in early intervention and 75 million in adding and creating more new preschool spots across the state, especially for preschool deserts in Illinois.
What does that mean if a region of Illinois or a part of a certain county is receiving a lot more money than they had 2 years ago? Will we see benefits right off the bat, or does this take time?
Well, it takes a little bit of time. School districts or community based organizations have to go through the RFP process, request for proposals. And one of the priorities is, of course, for the funding is for preschool deserts. So if there's an area that clearly has a need, wait list, or is not serve, are not able to serve all the children in the community, they would take priority. So it's about a 12-month process. You submit the proposal, and the funder will review the proposal, and then you're able to begin the process of implementing, expanding current programs, implementing new programs. And one of the most important pieces of this is full day programs. So that's one of the things that West 40 is doing to support our school district, expanding from half day programs to full day programs and doing regional scans and assessments to see if there's a gap and there's a need.
Vivian, in addition to families getting their toddlers and young kids medical checkups, the doctor checking their weight and all this stuff that's the
Mhm,
routine annual physical,
mhm.
um, are more children being screened to see how they're developing socially and behaviorally? And who performs these screenings?
Yeah. So we are hearing and seeing from the field that due to COVID and isolation, young children are experiencing delays in speech development and social emotional skills because they haven't had that time to interact with others. the time period between birth and 5 is what we like to call the sponge period, where children really are absorbing everything in their surroundings. One of the exciting things of the Smart Start Illinois plan is $40 million. In addition to what's currently being funded, is going to early intervention programs. So, what this will be do is will allow families to have more access to early interventions and early assessments for their children, which will catch any delays before they start preschool. So by the time they begin preschool, they won't be delayed. They won't be so far behind, and we'll be able to close some of those gaps.
Are there roadblocks that some families face? Do not every does every family get a chance to get these types of screenings?
Some of the roadblocks that we have seen through the Birth to Five Illinois Action Council and regional scan, at least for our area, is knowledge and just having the educational background of families to know where to go. Access is also a challenge. We're starting to see, like I said, more young children with needs, but not enough providers. But we're hopeful and confident that with this new investment, that families are going to be more aware and have more knowledge of where they can go, not just their school districts, but clinics in their hometowns and their communities to be able to have their children assessed. And one of the other big components of this plan is the preventative initiative, where you have home visitors going into the home and conducting screenings. So a family that perhaps is an immigrant family or a newcomer may not have the English language capacity to be able to identify where to take their child, or if the child has a delay, they would have a home visitor coming into their home and helping connect those dots.
So even if there was no pandemic, are there still
Mhm.
benefits of supporting kids earlier as opposed to waiting until they get to first grade?
Absolutely. So early learning has really evolved, in many ways, but due to scientific evidence showing critical growth that occurs during baby's brain from birth to 5 years old, the science is clear, and it's the most critical time, and we have to invest during that time for to ensure academic success and positive life outcomes. A strong foundation really helps young children develop the skills they need to become well functioning adults. And by investing early, we can lay the foundation for all Illinois children to have a strong start in school and be contributors to their communities.
Attention, Illinois educators. Is your educator license due to renew in 2023? This is a reminder from West 40 to please renew it before it expires on June 30th. To check your licensure renewal date, simply log in to your Educator Licensure Information Systems account and click on Credentials to view the renewal date. If you have any questions, email West 40 at licensure@west40.org. If an educator is hearing our conversation right now and they're saying, What can our school be doing better to support these children and their families?" What is the best piece of advice that you can give them?
So I would definitely recommend that they invest time in doing a very informal needs assessment or regional scans of their environment. And but what I mean by that is taking a look at their kids' data, their preschool to kindergarten transition planning, any professional development or wraparound services that they can provide to their educators to really elevate the field and elevate the preschool educator uh, environment and landscaping by really investing in their systems and in their communities.
So this obviously comes with a cost. Are there opportunities and scholarships or grants available for schools to pay for
Absolute
this?
Absolutely, yes. The Illinois State Board of Education has numerous block grants that are going on right now. The Preschool for All grant, there's Preschool for All expansion grant, there's Preschool for All grants, there's the block grant that I just mentioned. So it's a process of, putting together a request for proposal. And one of the important pieces of that is being able to conduct a gap analysis and a regional scan, which West 40's professional learning team can definitely help with, to make the case when you present the proposal to ISB or to any of the finders, including the Department of Human Services.
Vivian, could you describe more how West 40 gets involved? If you help a school district or a family, could you describe that experience? And is it a process where you go out and assess and then you come up with a plan?
Yeah, so what we do is our professional learning team conducts an informal needs assessment, and we take a look at the systems in place in that preschool environment or early childhood environment, pre-K to 8. We meet with the school leadership team. We have courageous conversations and provide a strategic or scope of work plan of what we would recommend, obviously, in collaboration with the educators, but based on the needs of their school and their community and where the gaps lie.
How rewarding is it for you, Vivian, if you are able to help a young child, say a preschool age child, and you see a turnaround and you see them happier, you see their family relieved?
It's incredibly rewarding, especially when we are able to engage the parent and really embed in them that they are their child's first educator. They're the caregiver, whether it's a foster parent or biological parent, that they are their child's first caregiver. And by partnering with the school, partnering with their community, with wraparound services, and really having a focus on education, they can break a poverty cycle and any historical gaps that they have experienced in their life.
Just like the state and the rest of the country is having a shortage of teachers right now, will we have enough professionals like you and advocates to help these families and educators and kids as we go forward?
Well, I hope so. There's, part of the Smart Start investment is increasing funding to childcare providers to raise wages and quality. And there are a number of scholarships out there right now to ensure that we have a pipeline beginning at the high school level.
Well, Vivian Palicki, thank you so much for sharing your expertise on early childhood development. It has to be an exciting time for you and others in your profession with this new focus, this renewed energy around birth to five and just kids in general.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. It is an exciting time, and I can't wait to see what we do with this increased focus for young children in Illinois.
Vivian Palicki, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for listening to Shift Everything. We want to hear your thoughts and bold ideas and share your educational accomplishments. To join the conversation, email us at shifteverything@west40.org.